Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a tactic called the 4-2-3-1 Ragnarock. The name alone, as usual, says it all for me. It looks like a fairly standard tactic of 4-2-3-1 that we've seen plenty of times before. A couple of positions we don't generally take a look at, but we're going to see how it goes today. It's on the Steam Workshop, so none other than FM Studio. We've seen time and time again. Unfortunately, there's no description, there's no notes, there's no comments, there's no nothing. Just a very nicely done thumbnail, and that is it. So, I was trying to find out what team he used. I just can't read that. It's too small for me. But we're going to use it with our three teams of Tottenham, Newcastle, and Wolves and see how they do. But it starts out with a goalkeeper in defend, inverted wingback on the left, a fullback in support on the right, central defenders defend centrally, an anchor in defend. We haven't really seen that at all. A Segunda Volante in attack, inverted winger in support on the left, and an inside forward in attack on the right, an attacking midfielder in support centrally, and then right in front of him, a pressing forward in attack. We haven't seen much of that either. Mentality is positive, in possession, attacking width is wide, approach play, pass into space, play out of defense, passing directness is shorter, tempo is slightly higher, whip crosses, work the ball into the box, and be more disciplined. In transition, you've got counter press, counter, distribute to the center backs, and take short kicks. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, step up more, and stop crosses. Now, how did it do for our three teams? Well, as you can see, Newcastle at 69 points is the tops, but still not fantastic. I mean, a little better than you would expect them to be, but I still wouldn't say fantastic. Wolves with 52 points? Not great. Tottenham, Champions League spot though. I mean, that's interesting enough. 42 points is absolutely abysmal. Newcastle's schedule, they've got a fantastic first 2 months, and then they just drop. I mean, a bunch of draws, some losses. They just don't do well. Out against Manchester City, Carabao Cup third round. Out against in the FA Cup third round against Fulham 1-2. They do have another fantastic run towards the end of the season, but then just not, I mean, this finishing off spotty. Wolves, completely different. Starting out the first 2 months, absolutely horrifically. You do get, not full points, but you do get points in every single match in October through November, so you're doing okay there. Continuing on to the Cups until the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, 1-2 against Arsenal. FA Cup, you're out 0-4 against Liverpool, and then not too bad of a run towards the end of the season, but somewhat spotty. Tottenham, now we know they're in the Champions League, so they must have won something, but you can see not doing too well. I mean, a couple of wins here and there. Overall, not great though. As you head into the second half of the season, out against in the Carabao Cup fourth round, 0-3 against Aston Villa. Out against Chelsea in the FA Cup third round, 0-2. You're down in the Europa Leagues, but you continue on. I mean, that must be the Cup. All the way until the Europa League final, 2-2 in penalties against Manchester United. So that's how they get Champions League, and they're in what, like 14th spot? Yeah, that's crazy. Out for Newcastle's and transferred wise, you got rid of Diallo to Brentford for 2.3 million. However, while you're not getting rid of a lot of people and you're not bringing in a lot of money, you are spending a ton. Facundo Torres from Orlando City for 9.25. McLaughlin from Rangers. Is it Kokachu from Feyenoord for 41.5 million? That is definitely one we have not seen before. And then they dip into Bayern for a double. Morrison from Bayern 2, and then Mazraoui from Bayern regular, on loan at least. But Herving Lozano from, well, Napoli, 21 million. So they are spending a ton of money. Wolves' transfer business is pretty massive. I mean, Traore to Tottenham for 40 million is a massive one. You do get rid of a lot of players on loan. Lemikisa out for only 1.1 million up, basically. But you bring in just Chiquinho from Benfica, Escaio from Sporting, so you're spending a little bit of money. I mean, I don't understand Wolves' business whatsoever. Never have, never will. Tottenham selling on Hugo Lloris for 4.7, and then bringing in a couple players. There we go. Adama Traore from Wolves for 40 million, Semedo from Benfica, Donny van de Beek, Jose Bica from MRT, and then Lavaja from Hajduk Split. What does that look like for the squads? You can see Trippier, Guimaraes, and Nick Pope and Isaac all getting in the tops in appearances. Goals-wise, 33 for Isaac, but then it just completely drops down. St. Maximin and Almiron with 8 and 7. Assist-wise, 13 for St. Maximin, 11 for Trippier, Isaac with 6. I mean, a bunch with 6. There's not a lot there, unfortunately. Average rating, however, is a completely different story. You've got a ton of players there. 7-5 for both Isaac and Vilka. Vilka only having one appearance, but 7-2-1 for Herving Lozano only being there for half a season. It's pretty nice to see all this green. Wolves-wise, Sarabia at the tops with 45. Neves and Nunez all in there with 42 plus 2 and 42 alone. Goals-wise, 17 for Jimenez. Cunha with 14, 11 for Sarabia. Definitely a low tally for all of them. 14 assists for Sarabia. That's probably pretty good. Cunha with 8, 7 for Nunez, or Neves and Neto. And then average rating, you do have some players up there. Of course, Daniel Bentley only having 2 appearances, but Sarabia with 45, 7-17. That's just amazing. Tottenham squad, Kulusevski, Son, and Romero up there in the tops of the appearance charts. Goals-wise, what happened to Kane? 13 for Richarlison and Harry Kane with 12, 11 for Son. Kane must have been injured. I don't know. Where's his injury list? He had a major in 2022 right at the start of the season, out for 6 months. So yeah, that could be a huge one. But if you're not relying on Kane alone, but unfortunately, it did not work at all this season. Assist-wise, 8 for Porro, Danjuma, and Hojberg. And average rating, you got some greens, 7-2-0 for Forster. Mora was 7-12. Yeah, I mean, the season was awful, but you do have some players who have done something at least. Data hub-wise for Newcastle, as you generally see, very good in attack, shaky defensively, fouls per game is just insane. But you've got some fantastic attacking numbers. Wolves, same kind of aspect, but a little bit less. Tottenham actually saying that they're generally okay in attack, weak defensively, but I mean, fouls against per game is high, fouls made per game is high. So that's pretty much it. Most goals, Tottenham's still in there with 55. I mean, overall, still top 7, so that's not too bad. You don't have a lot going up to number 2. Liverpool with 99. Couldn't have had just one more. Fewest shots against, absolutely nobody. Most possession, all 3 teams do make the list. Most dribbles, nobody. Fewest conceded, goalkeepers not doing anything either. Most tackles, defenses suck. Best pass completion, Tottenham and Wolves. Most shots for Newcastle and Wolves. And then most points per game, Newcastle. Not as it. Player-wise, Isaac with 31 goals, leading the leagues. Haaland all the way down with 23. Nunez even getting in there. Most assists, Anthony with the tops of the league. Alan St. Maximin, though, with 12. Sarabia and Trippier in there with 11 apiece. Most player of the match awards, Isaac with 10. Fantastic to see. Good season for Isaac. Not really for anyone else. Hugo Lloris up there with best pass completion. Christian Romero, Dyer, and Longley. Most dribbles made, Nunez and St. Maximin. Fewest conceded, Forster. So you got some goalkeeper work. Unfortunately, not in the shutout department. Most tackles won, Trippier with 100 and Nunez with 90. Doing some good jobs there. Trippier and Sarabia, as you'd expect, 168. Key passes to 114. Most shots, Isaac, all the way to the end. But overall, this tactic didn't work all that much. Tottenham do get Europa League, so they got a trophy. Plus, they get Champions League next season, so they've got something, and they got money coming in. And they're still in the Premier League, but not by a whole lot. Newcastle doing fairly well. Wolves, average. But overall, the tactic, I think we've gotten better 4-2-3-1s. I really would have loved it description. As you all know, I love descriptions. I love when people say, this is what I would do against away teams, home teams, stronger teams, things like that. But hopefully you can pick it up with your own shouts, with your own instructions, with all these other things that you can do that Sim just doesn't do. But that is it for me, Sefian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.